germ layer, that is ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. You have a little bit of idea by now that ectoderm is making the neural tube, the skin, the brain and the spinal cord, correct? And then the neural crest cells, and I just put one question in your TBS. I don't know how many students got it correct, but it was a swan cell that is also coming. And I gave some importance to the neural crest by saying that these are important cells and completing a system. System means a complete cardiovascular system, GI system, or a nervous system. Without swan cell, there is no action potential. So that's forming the outer layer of the nervous tissue. So what we have to do today, or what we have to emphasize today, is the next layer, which is the mesoderm. So my entire presentation is related to the mesoderm. We have completed the ectoderm. We know what is the ectoderm doing. We'll be doing the mesoderm and the endoderm simultaneously, and tell you a little bit more on this. But the whole idea is that how do we look like? We started with the one cell, remember that. And then the another cell joined together. One is the ovum, one is the spermatozoa. Then it was a fertilization. Then the 2-cell, 4-cell, 8-cell, marula was the 16-cell. Then it was implanted on the, or in the uterus, on the endometrium, and it was growing over there. That's the second way. We got blastocyst. The blastocysts have 2 layers. One layer was the epiblast. The second layer was the hypoblast. Then we told you that how the epiblast is changing into 3 layers. The epiblast was changing into 3 layers because of the, yes? Maybe I'm not talking. Am I talking? So why you cannot hear? What is the problem? Anybody had a problem that I'm not? Or I was too fast. You may say that I'm too fast. Not that you say. You can't hear me. I'm not. Okay. I go slowly. No, this is, you know it already. Have you heard the name fertilization? Yeah. No, that's even if you don't hear it, I did not say start anything. I'm just orienting you. That there was a cell called spermatozoa. Have you heard the name? Yes. There was a cell called ovum. Have you heard the name? Yes. There was a term called fertilization. That means 2 cells. That became 4 cells. That became 8 cells because of the mitosis. Did you hear that? Yes. Then, through the morula, it was implanted in the endometrium. I was a little fast, because I was thinking that you don't pay attention to that, because this is already known story. What is new? But I'm just reviewing it with you because I won't start unless you have a little background. But many students have many ways to learn it. So that's what I'm just giving a preview, a preamble of my lecture today. Again, I don't call it a lecture, it's a research session. I don't lecture you. I don't just give you something you have to learn. You have to get some concept. So, in 2 weeks' time, there was something called blastocyst. The 2 layers of cell, epiblast and hypoblast. Everybody knows that? And there's a fluid over there. This epiblast was transforming into germ layer, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Remember that? Through the primitive streak, primitive node, primitive pit. You remember that? Yes. And the cells were then trickling down to form ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. You remember that? Yes or no? Yes. Yes? Okay, good. Now, last time, the last research session, I indicated more on the ectoderm. If you remember, I was putting the paper like this way. I have the paper here. Remember, this was the ectoderm, and forming this, you remember that? I forgot completely. This is the neural tube. Neural tube. And this neural tube, I showed you how it makes the brain and the spinal cord. And the other part is the skin. And then a little bit part is neural crest. So all these things I indicated to you. So you know that. And this is the diagram. What you see over here is basically That's the same thing over here. This is the ectoderm. Forget about this for the time being. But I told you at the middle you have what is called as the notochord. Notochord forms the axis. Alpha University is your axis. And I just made a scenario like that, that in your SDL or your lunch time, you don't go to the shopping center. You have a little time, you go, but within the Alpha University, that's the axis. Those cells, they form a layer, but they don't get out of the axis. This is very important because this is the early period. Can anybody tell me what is my axis right now? Why I'm standing in front of you? Not why, how I'm standing in front of you. Because of my vertebra. That is my axis. Right? We could have been born like this way, like my arm walking, and my limb could be over there. Instead of attaching this, it could be over there. It's not, it's all attached to one body. So that's an axis. Just think about it, we could have all born, head could be over here, limb could be over here, this would be over there, but still together is a one man. We are not, we are within an axis. Everything is attached. Although we call appendicular bone, but basically centrally it is attached over here. Through the, the nerves are coming like this, they are pulling in. So this is an axis. But in the early part, very early part in our life, these cells, there are plenty of cells, they can go here and there. So you need an axis. This axis is called notochord. And the notochord is coming from the mesoderm, the lower layer. And that's what it's showing in the red area. Okay? Now the interesting part is, I am now telling you the third gene. The first two genes, last time I indicated, if you remember, TGA and the WF gene, remember for the differential for the gastrulation. But now I'm using one gene, I wrote it over there, it's called the sonic hedgehog gene. It's a big name. Sonic hedgehog. If you cannot remember SHH, even in your exam, I'll make sure it is SHH. So you don't have to remember that. But sonic hedgehog gene is very important. It is coming from the notochord. It is pulling the ectoderm to form like this. It was like this, it is like this, where something is pulling. That is the sonic hedgehog gene. And making the ventral part of the tube. If the tube is there, it has the upper part, dorsal part, and it is the ventral part. So ventral part is pulled because of the SHH gene. Is that clear? And that is the gene you have to remember. If you say, well, Dr. Paul, we are lost, you are not lost because I told you this thing, that please remember as many as possible. And somewhere it is written SHH gene. Today, I'm picking up one more gene, SHH. This is the total gene that you are responsible to remember at the end of the year. At the end of the year. So two genes, WN2 genes, I think somewhere is written over there. Where is WN2? This is the WN2 gene. And this is the sonic hedgehog for today. And what does it do?
Make the new
It does a lot of things. But one of the important things is the pulling effect or the ventralization of the neural tube. It forms the neural tube. It does many other things too. You learn that over the time. Okay. And then, if you want to know a little bit more on this, actually somebody got Nobel Prize. The two people got Nobel Prize for that. Nobel Prize are important. They are very distinct people. Their IQ is quite high. You said that well, your IQ is even better than a Nobel Prize. All that. It may be true, but tell me, all the students, I'm asking a question. Yesterday it was announced for the chemistry, two people got Nobel Prize. For what? In chemistry.
Yeah, the oxygen hemoglobin.
In chemistry.
Lithium ion.
Ah, give a big hand. This is my student. I love my student. Can you raise your hand again? You'll see me after the class, okay? Because I'm really happy with you. Okay. After the class. I know your class is at 5 o'clock, right? Okay. So that's exactly, today's research session is interesting, and it's not many slides by my drawing, and will be enough. But I'm telling you that this kind of information is needed. I tell you my story. Back in Canada, I have a neighbor. He's a lawyer. He comes to me and will tell me that, Dr. Paul, yesterday it was announced that somebody got a Nobel Prize in medicine, and you don't know that. But a lawyer knows it. We read it in the CNN or some other newspaper, and unfortunately you did not read it properly. So it doesn't look nice. You're a medical student, one day you'll be a doctor, and you don't know who got the Nobel Prize for medicine. So it's much better to be in the forefront of the news. You say, well, this is not coming in the exam, not in the MSK block. Come on, that's not important for you. You have to know beyond that. Okay. Now let's go further down. If you look at this picture, you can see that over here it is going down a little bit, and finally you have a tube. And look at the third one, the third photograph of this entire slide. The third one has a little bit of the tube has come forward. The tube is there. This tube is responsible for the spinal cord and the brain. And today, I'm going to explain to you the next one, which is the mesoderm. So, ectoderm is very clear to you. How does it look like? Now, I'm going to do step by step. You have to follow my diagram, and then you'll be, towards the end, you'll like it very much that, how we look like. I have to make sure that before you leave, before Dr. Moni enters, it's after you is Dr. Moni's lecture, I know that. So before he enters, you can tell him that thanks God, how we look like, we understand it. Okay? So that is the concept I'm going to give you. So the next thing, remember what I'm doing? I'm trying to draw the mesoderm, and through the mesoderm and endoderm, then towards the end, I will say that what is happening, how we look like. Okay? So let's see. So this I can take it out now. Everybody has written over there. So I'm drawing step by step. The first one, I'm drawing the ectoderm. Is that okay? And this is the neural tube. This is the neural crest, and then the mesoderm starts, and in the middle mesoderm there is this one, which is the notochord, which is pulling sonic hedgehog gene, etc. You know it already. Yeah. Now look at my drawing now. I'm going to draw now the mesoderm, complete mesoderm. And this drawing I'm going to do 1,000 times. Every time I come, I'll draw that. You'll be fed up with this. But at the end of the day, I say, yes, we understand. It's not easy. I'll try my best, but I'll draw 1,000 times. This is the mesoderm. And below that, we have, what is this one I'm drawing?
Hypoblast.
Not hypoblast. Hypoblast has gone by the time. It's the endoderm. This is the common mistake. And this will be in the exam. The lowermost layer up there, you will say hypoblast. I say, yes, I got it. Yes, I got it. So this is the endoderm. So this is, remember the fact in my drawing, I go step by step, I'll be not in a hurry. You are looking at this, 3 layers. One layer, which is forming like this way, that's ectoderm. The second layer, I'm not going to show you right now, but this is the second one. That's the mesoderm, and this is the endoderm. That's the drawing, you are looking at this, not this way, but this coronal section of the embryo. Is that okay? You are looking at one line, 3 lines only. 1 line, 2 line, and 3 line. Is that okay? Now I'm saying that this mesoderm is divided into 3 parts. One is called paraxial mesoderm. Paraxial means by the side of the axis. So I draw over here, this area. Maybe I use another color over here. Very interesting, very interesting. This is called paraxial mesoderm, so I write it for you in case you did not get it. Paraxial means by the side of the axis. Paraxial mesoderm. Can anybody tell me, I'll be very delighted, that in the future, in the adult life, what this will form?
Bones of vertebrae.
Give a big hand. You should see me after 8 o'clock. After 8 o'clock at night.
Oh.
Okay. Why? Because he knows that axis is formed. I'm standing because of the vertebrae. I'm standing in front of you. Not that, if I deliver the lecture, then everything is okay and I fulfill, I get payment, Then I'm looking for end of the month, I get, no, I'm standing. I'm standing because of my axis. That is the reason. So if this is the axis in the very early phase, the cells, they don't go away. This is just beginning of the vertebrae. Now you may ask that, Dr. Paul, draw a vertebra. I'm drawing a vertebra. Let's see if I can draw it. Wow. As I said, if you clap properly, not a little bit. Yeah, it should be always fantastic. Okay. Now my drawing is like, hang on, because I'm giving a concept. It does not look like two vertebrae, it's just one, isn't it? Yeah. One. But actually, it comes from the two sides and then joins. So what happens is very interesting. All of you must understand that in the later part, this goes away. We do not have notochord. The remnant of notochord is there. This is gone. This one, neural tube, just drops and forms like this. Make sense? So this one is your spinal cord, which was this one. But this obliterates because we do not need that mesoderm, little bit mesoderm, which is very thin, that will not allow me to stand in front of you. It need a bone. Sorry,
Can I
Okay. You understand this concept? All of you say yes to me.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
People understood it. Okay, very good. Now I enjoy that. So, basically it forms the vertebrae, and take it from me for today itself. I'll explain later. Also it produces some muscle. Just remember that. Vertebrae and some muscles. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. The back muscles, it's come from there. Then you have a zone called intermediate mesoderm, this one. So I'm writing over here, the second part is intermediate mesoderm. Underline 10 times, because intermediate mesoderm is very, even in the USMLE this time, I was looking at it, that they had a question, what are the derivatives of intermediate mesoderm? Very important systems coming up, and that is kidney and the genital system. It's called the genito-urinary system. Genital system means testes, ovary, those kind of things. Uterus, fallopian tube, all of them are coming from the intermediate mesoderm. Yes.
Dr. Paul, I'm confused about the orientation. Which one is the caudal end and which one is the cranial?
This is like this. Orientation. This side is the, so you see only leg is over there. I can see the leg.
Oh.
And head is over here. I just got in between. You're looking at the orientation. This side is the leg side, this is this. It doesn't matter where I cut it because you will not understand which side is the cut because you see only the line. You are not looking at this way, you are looking at this. Only 3 lines. If you compress this, then it looks like this. If you put it like this. You understand? Okay. So we are doing now intermediate mesoderm. Intermediate mesoderm is forming what? Genitourinary system, ovary, testis, okay? The fallopian tube, the uterus, all of them are coming. The ureter, all of them are coming from the intermediate mesoderm. Intermediate mesoderm. So if it is intermediate, what will be the name of this one?
Lateral.
Lateral. Who said that? You're too smart. You're too smart. Yes. Very good. So that will be lateral mesoderm. So I use another. So you see me at 10 o'clock night.
Wait a second.
Okay, so lateral mesoderm. Now we are trying to do today, so by the end of the class you will understand if I ask you the skin is coming from where, kidney is coming from where, etc., intestine, etc., everything will be very clear to you. Trust me. Just stay a little bit with me. I'm not interested in the slide as you know already. So lateral mesoderm. Now this is the lateral mesoderm. So obviously the limbs will come from the lateral mesoderm. It will not come from the center area, it will come from the lateral area. So the limbs means it has the bone and the muscle. The bone and the muscles come from the lateral mesoderm. Is that okay? Okay. Now it is divided into 2 parts. I'll come to that a little later for obvious reason. But at the same time, I must indicate to you that the lateral mesoderm is, when we talk about the limb, don't talk. If I say the radial nerve, over here is the radial nerve is there. It's coming from where?
Lateral. No.
Yes. Not neural crest, why neural? It's an
spinal
ectoderm.
cord.
So it is coming from the ectoderm. Because the neural tube, you can say neural tube. It's a nerve. So I checked last time, I will not check, I will do something else. Last time I put a question in the final exam that the limb development, okay, is there. And then I said, so in the radial nerve, so I put a little vignette over there and then asked that, so the radial nerve is coming from where? I put everything. All of them, maybe 90% of the students wrote lateral mesoderm, so I did not hesitate, I gave a big 0. Nerve means ectoderm, that's period. It's a neural tube. Oh. So when I say that lateral mesoderm is forming this thing or limb or the leg or everything, it is the bone and the muscle we are talking. Bone and the muscle, okay? It's coming from there. Now, if you look at carefully, the lateral mesoderm is divided into 2 parts. Did you see my picture?
Yes.
So one is called
Somatic.
the somatic mesoderm. Somatic. That means it will be covering the muscle. It is a muscle basically forming. And another is splanchnic. This is the Latin word. Splanchnic means covering the viscera. So push it a little bit, and it will be interesting towards the end. If you understand it, I will not leave you like this. I won't show you 10, 20 slides and go away. I will step by step. So you have a mesoderm. Dr. Paul is trying to emphasize mesoderm. It is divided into 3 parts. Paraxial mesoderm, so therefore it is by the side of the axis, so it is the vertebra and the muscle. Intermediate mesoderm, urogenitary system or genitourinary system. That means the testis, ovary, uterus, ureter, fallopian tube, all coming from that area. How it will be, is coming, that is not the discussion at this time, because we'll talk about that in year 2. And the renal block. In the renal block, I'll come back, intermediate mesoderm. That time I draw this thing again. And you'll understand how the kidney is developed, okay? It's the later part. And then we end up with the lateral mesoderm. It's a little bit left out. And I say the lateral mesoderm is primarily responsible for the limb, meaning the bones. You have the humerus bone and this lateral mesoderm. And some muscles are coming. But it is divided into two parts. We call it a somatic and the splanchnic. Splanchnic means viscera. It's covering the viscera. Viscera means organ. Like we have organ like liver, the stomach, intestine, these are organs. So it is covering the organ, that's why it is called this splanchnic. Now, this you have to remember. Now is the interesting story I'm going to tell. I'm going to show you that. How do we look like? Remember, that is the question I put it in front of you. How do we look like? Is a pod or a pod? We see you that, you are a very tall guy and that's okay to me. But how do you look like? I look like this. Let me tell you, I look like this. Here is my head, and I'm just like a tube. And you say that, very unfortunate, Dr. Paul, that you look like a tube, but I tell you, you also look like a tube. You also look like a tube. Your head is like that, the tube is like that. So what is happening now? These layers, look at me, these layers will now fold. That's what we look like. We just fold. So folding starts between the 3rd week to 8th week. It's completed. Folding is completed. Slowly, slowly it will be. So look at my drawing now. Look at my drawing. No talking, please. Look at my drawing. Please, please, please look at my drawing. Look at my drawing. And because it's folding, so because it's folding now, look at this one. It becomes a tube also. The endoderm becomes a tube. It's folding. And that is the reason the intestine is a tube. It started like this, but it is a tube. If I do like this, this is endoderm. But now if I fold, it is a tube and becomes intestine. Is clear? And if you put it, everything is folding. If I put it all together, that's what we are. So this is the thorax upper part. When I fold it over here, I can fold it. And I told you that how I look like, or how you look like, is the head over here, and this is the thorax, and this is the abdomen, and the little leg is over there. That's what you look like. This folding is very important. So now, see why it is called somatic. Very easy, trust me, if you listen to me carefully, have some drawings ready, you don't need to go back and read anything. Just open, before the exam, little blah, 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 and you are okay. What I'm trying to say, why it is called somatic, now you understand. Hang on. If you want to touch me, oh yeah. Then what you are touching, actually you are touching the muscle. Trust me, this is a muscle.
Yeah.
That's called, muscle means somatic. Muscle means somatic. Muscle means somatic. That's what it is covering. So this is somatic. But I don't know how many students know, if you cut me over here, then below that there is called peritoneum. You remember that? You heard the name peritoneum? That is this one. And peritoneum, what does it do? It actually covers the organs. This is the stomach or intestine. Got it? This is over there. So it is covered by the peritoneum. That's why it is called splanchnic. The second one is splanchnic. It's covering the viscera. Very easy. Yes.
Does it form the pericardium?
Yeah, also very good. In the thorax. Give a big hand to it. Very good. Because I was talking about this. I was talking about this. This area I did not ask you to touch. This is a very problematic area over here. So this is called thorax. Okay? This is called thorax. And the thorax, below that same muscle is there. Below that, you are right, there is a pleura covering the lung, pleura, or covering the heart, pericardium. That's also coming from this splanchnic mesoderm. So basically, this is how we look like. You put the head over there and this. But if you open, sometime, most of the time, the students don't like me. So what they say, you have a scalpel. Everybody has a scalpel now. You already started dissecting, etc. Now, if you do not like me, cut me through this. Now you are cutting it. This is how we look like. And you see that if I put it like this, the first time I'm showing you the mesoderm. You see the mesoderm now? Exactly. So it looks like it is a paraxial mesoderm. Here is the one side only one view. But you see that. But if I do like this, mesoderm looks like this. This drawing took me the whole night. No, I'm kidding. You believe that, right? You believe that this takes one night? First of all, are you mad? Are you dumb? Probably I'm dumb, maybe. So this is the mesoderm. You understand that? Lateral mesoderm, intermediate mesoderm, both sides. So therefore, make no mistake, how many testes we have? Two, because 1, 2. How many ovaries? How many kidneys? Make sense? Now with a little understanding, you tell me, with a little understanding, just a few minutes more. I did not show you this slide because I have to show you a couple of slides. So with a little understanding, you know that how the organs, if I ask you, brain is coming from you, from where? Ectoderm. Spinal cord, ectoderm. Kidney is coming from the intermediate mesoderm. The limbs coming from the lateral mesoderm, bones coming from the lateral mesoderm. If it is a vertebra, it's coming from the intermediate mesoderm. So intestine is coming from the endoderm. And this is, I'm talking strictly the epithelia of the stomach or epithelia of the intestine. That's the endoderm. That is making the tube. If you see the stomach, which you have not seen it yet, the stomach has epithelia and the outer part is the muscle. The muscle is coming from the mesoderm, but the epithelia is coming from the endoderm. One more time. When I say the endoderm, it is basically the inner lining, the lung inner lining or the intestinal inner lining. Epithelia is coming from the endoderm. If stomach has nerve tissue, nerve is coming from where? Ectoderm. Stomach has muscle. It is coming from where? Mesoderm, some muscle. So now you know all the organs and how we look like. Is that okay? How do we look like? Okay, now you will not leave me. So well, Dr. Paul is so boring lecture. You did not show any slide. So I have to make sure that nobody complains about me. So now you see some of the slides over here. Why? Okay, I have to tell you this thing, which I bypassed last time. That why are you learning this thing? Because sometimes the problem of the germ layer can create a disease. Here we are showing you a problem of the child which is born with a little protrusion on the back. It's called it is problem related to the neural tube defect. It is ectodermal defect. In other words, you can see if the ectoderm is not properly formed. Last time, remember I showed you teratoma, if there's a problem of the primitive state. Here I'm showing the problem related to what we call as the neural tube defect. And the exact disease is called meningocele. Exact disease is meningocele. So meningocele, which is, I'm showing you, this is, you can see somewhere it's written what I'm making, it's the middle one. It's called meningocele. Meningocele is a disease related to the neural tube. We'll be asking the exams. Meningocele is a disease related to the neural tube defect. Okay? So anyway, this is the last slide of previous lecture. I indicated to you that how the ectoderm is slowly folding, making a tube, neural crest, and this is the notochord. And so everything is clear to you. Now, And this is the, you learned it. Today you are starting from here. Today's lecture is from here. So what you are looking at over here is the various divisions of the mesoderm. The mesoderm is divided into three parts. Is the intermediate mesoderm, the paraxial mesoderm, intermediate mesoderm, and the lateral mesoderm. The lateral mesoderm again is divided into three parts. You can see one is called the somatic, one is the splanchnic. Is that okay? So the formation of epithelium of the GI tract and formation of epithelium of the respiratory system. So now onward, you can draw a little baby. So always put the ectoderm on the top. This is the lateral view. That view is anterior posterior view. This is also anterior, but this is the lateral view. This is the lateral view showing ectoderm middle of the mesoderm and endoderm in the below. So make no mistake about that. Where is the endoderm? Where is the ectoderm? Where is the mesoderm? Is that clear? Very good. Finally, to finish this 3 weeks to 8 weeks, I have to tell you, just two, 3 slides I have to tell you why are we starting 3 to 8 weeks. Because it is called the critical period. This is the period where all the organs are forming. This is the period where if the mother is exposed to radiation or the drugs or the viruses, can lead to the defect of the birth defect. The child is born with some defect. So I have to talk about the teratogens a bit. So again, it is showing you the mesoderm. You can see the different parts. This is the paraxial mesoderm. This is the intermediate mesoderm. The lateral mesoderm divided into two. This is the neural tube. This is the notochord over here. So and the folding. Remember the folding over there. And all the organs are formed. So clinical terms, people use it, you know it by now. This is the terminology we'll be using it. Gastrulation means 3 layers of the cells. Organogenesis, you know. Teratogens, you know what is the teratogens. I have a list of the teratogens.
Misfolding.
Sometimes I bypass the slide, doesn't mean that you don't have to look at it. I bypass the slide because you have the idea that these are teratogens are the drugs or the radiation or the virus. And I have a full list of that. I'm going to show you that. Neural tube defect, I told you meningococele. I told you this will be coming later. And this is the last lecture to explain about, this is from the last year, so that's where I put the high holiday. Limb development for the MSK block that is coming up. Now, look at the teratogens. They are the substances which can cause problem, and these are the teratogens. Is that okay? These are the list of the teratogens that you have to remember. Thalidomide, rubella virus, radiation, alcohol, erythroid. You have to unfortunately remember all the names over there. Why it is called critical period, 3 to 8 weeks? Because most of the organs are formed. I will start from here next week. So this is all about, I can say. So what I said today, there are 2 parts. One is how the mesoderm is formed, what are the different types of mesoderm, which organ is coming, the folding I explained to you, how do it look like, and I just gave an indication of why it is called critical period, teratogen, and that is end of 3 to 8 weeks. Remember the folding is also part of the 3 to 8 weeks. Folding, remember the folding over there. Now, I will be now talking about the extra-embryonic tissue, the placenta, etc., outside the embryo in the next week. Because the mother is exposed to the virus and everything, can create a problem, that's why critical period. Also the placenta is not formed. Mother is not protected because the placenta is formed after some time. Is that okay? So this one I'm going to start next week. It's called the extra-embryonic tissue. Extra-embryonic tissue means outside the embryo. Thank you very much. That's enough.